quickly want to go through that Japanese Edo period. Court culture was blossoming in Heian period. That's what you are working on for your storyboard. And then from the Kamakura period through Momoyama, not that Momoyama was a problem, but Kamakura period, for example, it was the era of a lot of disaster, natural disasters. So, and also from the Kamakura period on, Kamakura and then Muromachi, and then you have this Momoyama and Edo. These are the military government. So that means emperor and imperial family, as well as aristocratic families, were still living in Kyoto, but the military government was located, for example, Kamakura period was in Kamakura. And Muromachi and Momoyama, it's closer to Osaka. And then if you go to Edo period, the military government is stationed in Tokyo. So with this like a separation between the symbolic power versus actual power, the cultures become a little bit different. So that beautiful culture becomes a little bit diluted during the Kamakura, Muromachi, and Momoyama period. And then if you go to the Edo period, there you are going to see sort of a typical like a rise of a mercantile culture. Here, like I say merchant culture, or you can say mercantile culture. So suddenly, samurai or aristocrats are can I say, they lost their purchasing power against really, really wealthy merchants. But in terms of the social diagram, merchants are rather low in their social class. So here you have emperor and imperial family. Right underneath you have aristocrat, and then you have a very important social class of samurais. These are privileged class. And then you have farmers and fishermen, the regular people who pay the tax. And underneath you have artisans and you have merchants. The problem with the merchants is, so even though their social class is low, their economic power sometimes exceeds that of samurai or sometimes that of aristocrats. Edo period, you are going to see the blossoming textile industries, and that is related to the rising power of merchants. So you have two types of dyeing or decoration process. So so you have dyeing designs onto the fabric. So fabric is already woven in some color, and then you are going to add decorative patterns, right? You want to put roundels, or you want to put the floral motifs, and usually they are implemented with yuzen dyeing or kata dyeing. So they call it yuzen zome, kata zome, and yuzen is a wax resistant dye, and then kata zome is more like a stencil technique, very similar to silk screen as you understand it. And another fundamental technique of decorating a textile would be you just dye the thread, right, and then weave it together certain combinations. So that is called kasuri and shibori. These are two representative types of techniques. And then the three basic types of thread are silk, linen, and cotton. Wool, like wool threads are not introduced yet. Wool thread is coming around 1850s. Not yet. But once wool threads are coming in, then people also make kimonos out of wool woven textiles. You have dye thread and then you weave. So this is a kasuri. technique. So you weave your clothes using the thread. So if you see the thread, they calculated in which area you are going to have this white color. Once you finish it, the background is dark blue, and then some areas here, let's say you have like a one line like this. There is way of calculating so that you know that this one particularly white should be shown like here, here, and here, here, and it's really like a mathematical calculation, very intricate. But if you keep doing it, they sort of know where to do. This one has some geometrical patterns, and then you have so in the beginning you have the geometrical patterns, and then you are going to add chrysanthemum in between, if this one, for example, is tie-dyeing. So I told you that these are like the component of tie-dyeing. You put a lot of threads around it so that when you submerge these tied cloth, the thread tied areas remain white, and then the other areas are like a white, red. This one is the shibori dyeing, and then these are also shibori dyeing, kanoko shibori, very versatile. And then the red color is coming from the safflower. Examples of kataezume, if you want to put the stencil, each workshop has this kind of intricate like a template of their patterns. And what kind of patterns you have is like really your identity. Here, in order to make some geometric patterns like this, like overall geometric patterns, you will have this kind of cardboard with these little slits, and then you are going to put it on the top of that panel of cloth, and just like a silk screen, right? And then you are going to put the colors. Then it changes colors, and then if you want to put this area pink and this area blue, then you can also differentiate different cardboard for different colors. So that's a stencil pattern. This is other examples of kataezume. So it can come in this many different colors. So you put it on, but where you are going to put red, like these are more red, these are blue. You distinguish where the colors are going, so that when you finish it, the finished product will look like pink flowers and aqua blue leaves. So basically, you need a large group of highly skillful technicians or assistants working in the industry for many, many years. So that what is important is the way you apply the colors, right? So that it's applied evenly. And then the cutting the cardboard, that is also a very important technique. So you need this. So do you know the Japanese technique, Japanese wood block paint called ukiyo-e? We may see some examples. You already used ukiyo-e prints to show some geishas or women in lavish clothes. But ukiyo-e is wood block print. So they have wood block printed images on paper, but it's a somewhat similar process. In textile decoration, it's not the wood block, it's more like a cardboard style, very durable paper, and then you cut them off depending on like a patterns or like these bamboo leaves, and then instead of printing on paper, you are going to print on textile. but the process is somewhat similar. Katai is a stencil resist, and then use and dyeing. Here there was a use and dyeing. You can watch the video in my bamboo canvas. There is one video about the use and dyeing. That is the guy, Japanese master. He's like a 5th generation in this technique of Yuzen. And then he collaborates with Yuji Yamamoto or other designers. So you can see it. Similar to stencil, but it is, they put the wax and then dye, and then erase the wax part, and the waxed part is also in different colors.